welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be talking about my experience at the HackrBattlebots event in Belfast. This is their first public event, which was quite cool to enter into. The machine that I entered into the competition was Destructigator, and I brought Rusty along for a whiteboard fight. Another machine that I had brought before to the QCon event was Full Force. This was Full Force Mark II, but it was run by one of my Mecha Mayhem club members, Team D&D, and this is their first time driving a spinner. Plus the fact that he's 9 years old, so he's starting off, and I'm really proud of how far he's come along as a roboteer at my events. So this was a great test to see how well he would get on with the spinner. Another club member of ours that came with a brand new robot was our former Mecha Mayhem champion Maniac with his new machine Judas. So we're going to be focusing a lot on all of our battles in this video. The other machines that appeared at the event was the Queen's University robots known as the Jonathans, I believe they're called. Yeah, there was three of the exact same robot, and they're all called John. It was quite fun, nice little wedge robots. The other machine was known as Chevron, which was this big six-wheeled scoopy type machine, and it was really well designed. Because any way you flipped it up, the wedges would automatically land back down on the ground. So I wasn't really looking forward to fighting that machine. For HackrBattlebots, they had two of their own machines that they entered in, which was Blender, which we've had a back and forth battle, which was quite cool. I was kind of going, hopefully we can battle it out with each other. And then there is another machine, I can't remember what it was called, PCDP, I think it was, or a little blue tombstone. So let's get into the battles themselves. First up, it was Judas and Chevron. This is the first time Judas was ever used, and this is the first time Chevron has been used, so it was going to be a fun battle. However, Judas's weapon unfortunately got jammed at the bottom of the shell, so it couldn't spin up, and Chevron had very slow drive motors, but it was still a fun little battle back and forth. You can see here that if the blade was working, it would have been quite fun. The other thing about the HackrBattlebots arena is that the pit is on a timer, so it will randomly drop at any time, which is quite nervous for yourself. You also got this out of the ring area, which you can see here, and here's when Chevron takes his slow victory against Judas, and I can't remember if he does push him down in the pit. I think he gets jammed here. Nope, he actually does push him down. And up next was our Mecha Mayhem club member Team D&D driving Full Force for the first time, and one of the Jonathan robots. I think it's the first Jonathan bot. Now the problem here with Full Force was it had existing problems from the first incarnation of Full Force, which was at QCon, that fought Blender, and this is a recurring thing that keeps happening with Full Force. You can see here eventually the weapon does go up, he gets him under the side. Jonathan can't self-right because the wheels are too small, and that was the first victory for Full Force on Team D&D. Then it was my turn with Destructigator. Now Destructigator is a brand new machine, and I tried to design it with protecting the wheels. The weapon's a wee bit too high up, but there's a massive problem with the speed controller that I had. I had a very low battery with Destructigator, so what happened was when the weapon would go at full pelt, the drive would die. So I had to keep switching the weapon down to get the drive back. This is when I spun it up too fast and it did the gyro dance, and I was upside down. Now with Jonathan 3, you can see I took a massive gash on the side, and then I explode the wheel, and it's still struggling, still driving. Queen's University weren't giving up on this. Then I take the tire on the other side, and you can see this back and forth moment. Now the problem is I have the weapon at full pelt, which means that the drive has died on me, and I'm not giving up. I'm right close to the pit, and I'm not going to make it easy for the Jonathan bot. Then I decided to put the weapon down a little bit more to get a wee bit more drive back again. you can see here that the Jonathan bot is really starting to suffer from the damage, and I go for another big hit, and then they're trying their best. Now the thing is, this is a flaw with Destructigator which I will resolve, but this was definitely impacting me in the event. This is only just the first fight, but I managed to get it over the edge and then slowly put it into the pit, and Destructigator gets its first victory. It was then Team D&D's second fight, and they repaired Jonathan 3 after the Destructigator battle. You can see there with the wonderful duct tape on the side. However, the problems were starting to happen again. The gremlins were starting to hit full force. The weapon wasn't working right, which was frustrating because I did want to see full force spin up and do the big massive flying in the air vertical thing that verts do. But then the drive was starting to mess up on it, and then this happened, the pitting. Up next was Judas with the full repairs now that the weapon works, and Jonathan 2. And then we get to see why powerful Judas can be, and it is scary. Right now you can see it's taking chunks out of the Jonathan bot. But I will give the one thing to the Queen's University team: they did not give up. They didn't back down. They weren't terrified. They just kept coming in for battles. But you can see there the massive gashes on the side of this bot. And then the victory for Judas. Something I didn't want to happen, but it did, because they have the round robin set up for the HackrBattlebots event. So we have Full Force and Destructigator going together. Now, Full Force is not really healthy, and I did feel bad for Team D&D, but it's a competition and I have to do it. Plus, I'm going to be the one repairing the machines. You can see there I take a massive hit on the side of Full Force. You can see the front armor is gone. Then I go in for another big hit, and that is the end for Full Force. Destructigator wins. With donations of Team Maniac, I got some carbon fiber armor, which was quite interesting to see how it works, but this is the repairs for Full Force to go into the next battle. This was Judas's next battle with another Jonathan bot, and you can see kind of history repeats itself. More gashes being taken out of it, but there was the crazy shock and awe moment that almost both of them nearly got a double KO, but Judas wins. Up next is me and Destructigator against our nemesis Blender. I wasn't looking forward to this one because Blender can actually hit the weapon motor directly because it's just below the weapon. Same problem with Destructigator. Once I go up to full speed, the drive cuts out, and not a good time to be caught at the pit. So I had to decrease the weapon to try and drive again. I got a couple of good hits here to Blender, but yeah, then this happened. Now the good thing about the event that they allowed me to repair the machine, to give me like a couple of seconds. If I don't get the robot win, it could have been a KO. Trying not to go full speed and get a little bit of drive so I can give a hit, but then Blender hits me directly in the back and I'm pitted. This was my most feared fight, coming up against Judas with the Destructigator. Now if you can notice there, his blade is below and my blade is at the top. Now I've got a longer reaching bar, but if he hits the side or the back of me, I can, well, it'll be curtains for me. But then this big giant hit sends me careering. I'm at full speed, I have no drive, and I'm out. Up next was Team D&D fighting Blender with the new carbon fiber armor, which was quite interesting to see if it could take the hits. Same problem, the weapon is still plaguing Full Force, so it's relying on its drive, and I'm waiting for it. You can see there's little bits of time in a moment, but unfortunately the drive starts to mess up on one side and they're out. After the Judas fight, Destructigator was really suffering now, and we're facing off against John 1 with a new TPU front armor, and then this happens. I get caught up on the part. I'm trying my best to get up, but the worst part about Destructigator, once it's upside down, it's really hard. So I decided up to full speed, which kind of unnerved the driver, and then that happened, and I'm so lucky I got the win. This was a fight I was also dreading against, was Full Force and Judas. Then this big hit almost out of the arena, which was good driving on Team D&D to keep in. I thought that moment they were knocked out, but then Burst of Life, the spinner starts to spin up, but then this crazy moment I've never seen happen at Robot Combat. A massive hit from Judas on top, and then the pit drops. I've never seen it happen, but good job on Judas. Next up was Destructigator and Battle Duck. Yeah, Destructigator was really starting to fall apart at this point, but I thought I'll crank the weapon up full speed because the drive isn't working. It starts to self-destruct. I love the fact that Battle Duck's got this big massive plow scoop in its little tank. I tried my best to get the threads, but then the drive completely craps out. Weapons at full speed, but it doesn't help and I'm knocked out. Then it was Chevron versus Full Force, but same thing plaguing Full Force. At this point it's battered, just like the Destructigator. It's lucky that the drive's working. But as you can see here, Chevron's design, it has this hinge scoops that if it lands on either way, the scoops will always face the floor, which I think it's just a beautiful, amazing design. Gets the side and it wins. Next was Judas and the Battle Duck, and Judas, straight away the track comes off. You think he would stop, but it still wants to continue fighting. This weapon on Judas is absolutely crazy. You can see the damage is done already, and then this big massive hit, and Battle Duck is not wanting to give up. It's not pitted yet. It still wants to give a good go. Everyone cheers for one last big hit, and boom. And at this point, Judas has won, but it's just for more fun. And then this happens, goes in for another hit, and almost knocked itself out, but it was still fun to see. Then into the final, it was Judas versus Chevron, and this was one hell of a battle. You can see here that chunks of Chevron are starting to come off, the front plows going, the pit's down now, so close to the pit. You can see here the side armor is also starting to become loose. This was so fun to see, the audience just going absolutely crazy for this battle. But you can see there's parts going everywhere. So there's so many close moments where Chevron almost gets Judas into the pit, but like, I was just stunned how much damage this machine could take. There's the side armor coming off, and then there's a big moment happening here where Judas's weapon starts to hit the armored side. Because that armor panel's gone now, he's just praying that the weapon stops, which doesn't, and more parts come flying off. I'm still so impressed with the way that Team Maniac have made this brand new robot in the space of, what, a night? 2 nights maybe? And then this moment happens. The blade gets caught right onto the wheel. They're stuck at this moment. This continues on for another minute, but eventually it goes to the judges, and because Chevron had won all of its fights during the day, it became the champion of the first public event for HackrBattlebots. I really can't wait to see the upgrades to this machine, and hopefully we get to fight it again. Now the championship is over, we're into whiteboard fights, and I wanted to have a rematch against Blender with Grant. I went and repaired it as best I could. We got the weapon to work. Was expecting it to die really quickly, but that armor, the new armor I was given, really helped. The carbon fiber armor is something I'm thinking for the next innovation can hold hits really well. But you can see here, I'm starting to go, my drive's starting to go on one side. That's where you can start seeing me gyro a bit, but then there's nasty hit here, knocks the weapon out. I do manage to get it back up and running again, but it doesn't really help. Like, the drive on one side has started to go. I just start to rely on the drive. The back panel gets ripped apart, which just takes thankfully the battery's in the middle of the machine, so I'm not too worried about it hitting the battery. But then we have this moment where I'm struggling on one side, trying the best, then the big hit happens. Grant was very kind to help us back up again. He didn't want to end the fight just like that, have a proper back and forth. The weapon at this point is cooked. The speed controller is also starting to fail as well, and bit of a mercy killing, and that was it. Next whiteboard fight was against Little Rusty and Damage Dealer with the new flipper configuration. Now, Rusty is an 8-year-old robot, and I'm still amazed that it's running to this day. Like, it makes me very proud to still see it running. And this was to test out the new flipper configuration for Team D&D, because we used one at the end of the Macamem Series 1 event, and he liked it that much that he wanted a flipper configuration, so I helped him out with it. I have to say, it's held up pretty well, but this is when the first problem happened, is the little side front panel came off. Easy enough to get the fix, but I'm really happy how that new head on Rusty is working. You can actually get underneath robots, and I can use the flipper really well. But yeah, this is quite fun. But I was trying my best here to get to the sides of it. I didn't realise that Damage Dealer is very low. That was very close to the edge there. That's good driving skills on D&D's part there. Now, I was really trying my best to get underneath and get him over into the pit. We are getting very close to it. But like, I love the fact that Damage Dealer is self-righting so easily now than the last time. Then he gets me here and he jams me in the corner. I try my best to move, and then I lose. And the last whiteboard fight of the day was Beetleweights versus Antweights. I brought the Thwackbot Slap Happy and the little bronze robot Dash along with me. SPG is the HackrBattlebots Beetleweight. The black robot with the yellow wheels is Dealbreaker from Team D&D. And we've done pretty well with this little fight back and forth. At the very end of this battle, SPG is the winner of it, because my wheel on Dash jammed up, and I couldn't really do much after that. But yeah, it was so hilarious watching Beetleweights versus Antweights. I have to say one thing, the Antweights did hold up pretty well against the Beetleweights. And that was the end of the tournament. And that's the end of the competition. I want to say a huge congratulations to Chevron. That 6-wheel tank bot was a beautifully designed machine. With the new upgrades, when it becomes more faster, it's going to be more hard to fight. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can hold his title. Also want to say a big congratulations to our club member who got second place, with Judas. He really is a crazy genius when it comes to robots, and with Judas, I love the fact that we both connected. Were just by an inch, my weapon was enough to hit his weapon motor, but I don't think he'll make that mistake again. So I'm kind of dreading fighting him again. But yes, so the other thing that I've done after the event, because it's now Monday, I upgraded Destructigator. So this is the old shell of Destructigator. What's is left of it? It's just, you know. So yeah, this is the old shell. A lot of problems happened with Destructigator. Obviously, the old speed controllers that I was using, they kept cutting out. So when the current would go through the weapon, it would cut the drive out. We needed bigger space. So this is the old shell, and this is all the new components in it. Is the new Destructigator, with the wheels. I've got some wheels for it. Here we go. Doodly doo. So that's what Destructigator will look like at when it's fully painted up and looks like it's alligator look again. But yes, a lot more beefier. Polycarb armor, and the internal parts of the side armor and stuff is made out of HDPE, so there shouldn't be any parts flying off. The other thing that I've redesigned with this is the wheels aren't inside the shell, they're the outside of the shell, the classic Tombstone way. Hopefully we'll see how it goes at the next HackrBattlebots event. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes. I'm proud of the disc. The disc, it's done really well. The bar has suffered very little damage, which is really good. But yeah, new beefier robot. However, Full Force's shell, I had to take the internals apart. The whole speed controllers were cooked at the end of it, and the weapon motor was just gone. So Full Force Mark II is now going to be put on the shelf of wonder. And we're going to be redesigning, with the help of HackrBattlebots, going to be redesigning a new, uh, hopefully more deadly Full Force. But yeah, that's basically the upgraded versions of my robots. And Rusty didn't let me down. That old machine is still going strong. The upgrades to Rusty was a new flipper mechanism for it, and in that little whiteboard fight, it didn't break down. It self-righted really well, drive went really well. So I'm hoping we can get more whiteboard fights for Rusty at the next event. I want to say a massive thank you to Team DD, who took me up to the event and took me back. Thank you so much. And it's so great to see a new Roboteer starting his way up in the community. And this was a great like crash course for a weapon setup you've never used before. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what he will do at the next event. I also want to say a massive thank you to HackrBattlebots for putting on an amazing event. I really can't wait to come back with the Structigator. We got 7th place, so hopefully we might get into the top 3, possibly win the next event. I don't really know, because I imagine now that the competition is going to get more involved with new weapons and spinners and flippers and God knows what. But maybe I'll get the title from Chevron. Who knows? But until the next time, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye, everyone.